Hi everybody, Chef Bravo here. Welcome to another episode from the Bravo PB Kitchen. This week I am making pasta fagioli, and I'm hoping I am not mispronouncing that for all of the good Italian fans and subscribers out there. So pasta fagioli really translates into beans and pasta. So I have a friend, Frank, who described this to me, and so I decided to make it for everyone at True North, and everybody loved it. They thought it was great. So I decided to make a video of it and show you guys. It's very simple, only a few ingredients, very easy to make, and as it turns out, it's really, really tasty. So I'll give you the very brief history of this, and then we'll just jump right in. So his mom used to make this for him, and she would tell him that this was one of the few things, actually, I should say, one of the few things they ate during times of the Depression. As it turns out, it's very cheap to make. And so she would make this for him, and he just loves it. And so he described this dish to me, and I did my best to sort of, replicate the dish. And he thought it was really good. Obviously not as good as his mother used to make for him as a child, but it came pretty close. So let me show you what we have. So here we have some large lima beans. These are the beans I used. I am not exactly sure what beans Frank's mom used. But anyways, these turned out, as he described the dish to me, I thought that these would work really well because large lima beans have a very creamy sort of texture. So we just throw these in there. That might be a little bit too many. You can pre-soak these, which will make it go faster, but they cook very, very quickly, so I don't really need to. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get them started. And it'll take somewhere in the 20-ish minutes for this to get going. You'll essentially see some foam rise to the top. You want to make sure you get that off. Okay, so I have my beans here. They've been cooking for about half an hour. And so I'm gonna grab one and just sort of test out to see how done it is. If I push on it, I can still feel a little bit of hardness in there. If I really push on it, I know that it'll smush. But at this point, I'm guessing it's about 70% cooked. This is where my Italian spices would go in. So this here is a mixture of onions, garlic, oregano, basil, thyme, and red pepper flakes. Oh, and parsley as well. So that goes in, and then I basically just keep cooking it until I test it again, and then the beans are fully done. At that point, then we would throw our pasta in. So I'm gonna let this cook for just a little bit longer. It's probably gonna take another 20-ish minutes or so, and then you'll see me throw the pasta in. Okay, so my beans cooked for another 20-ish minutes. I did add a little bit more broth because it tends to evaporate. And although drier beans would be good, we still haven't added the pasta, so that makes a difference. I grab one of the beans, so when I push on it, I can see that I can smush it completely, so I know my beans are ready. At this point, I would go ahead and add the pasta. Whatever shape you like. I like using shells, but certainly a penne pasta or a fusilli would work as well. Elbow pasta would be great. This right here happens to be jovial pasta, as you can see here. I love using jovial because it's hard to tell the difference between jovial and regular pasta, so I like using that. And this, of course, is a brown rice pasta. I look at the box, it says 11 minutes cooking time, so then I just let it go. And then I have another one here that I can show you that it's ready. So I'm just gonna switch these guys out here. So now you see, once the pasta cooks in there, the starch sort of thickens up the liquid. So this guy is ready, with the exception of some fresh herbs. What I did is I chopped some fresh basil and we added it to the beans. Oh, I love basil, so we're gonna add quite a good amount here. All right. So we'll stir that in. And then for me, I needed a touch of acidity here, just because it's quite the savory flavor profile. So I added a hint of lemon, which I would have imagined that they might have had around back in the time of the Depression, but certainly a splash of vinegar they would have had. And so, you know, stir that in there. And this guy is just about ready here. And so now we have this really nice pasta fagioli. Now, the ratio of beans to pasta, I tend to have more beans than pasta in there, just because I like the beans with just a little bit of starch in there. But certainly you can go half and half, or maybe you like more pasta than beans. That's all a personal choice. And you can certainly finish this off with a little bit more crushed red pepper if you like spicy. Now, as my friend Frank explained to me, during the time of the Depression, they would serve this over toasted bread and maybe a little Parmesan cheese. Now, don't do that, okay? We want to keep this healthy, okay? So, you know, once you put it on that bread with some cheese, it really turns more into comfort food, which is what it is for my friend Frank. I would suggest you keep it on the healthy side. This by itself, as I just showed you, it's really just hearty, thick, filling. As you saw, I didn't really need to put anything in there other than just the Italian seasoning. So no chopping of onions or garlic or anything else. So I hope you give this a try. Very simple to make, very delicious, and keep it healthy, okay?